Okay. I'm not going to my fucking my theater.
Pressure's on. Okay, should we be talking while I do this?
Oh,
I'm trying to decide
Like
if
a
you
bust.
portrait or full body. I'll do full body because that's more like a landscape. Because that's, I guess. All right. So first, got to figure out the shape here. So I wanted to end about here. Blade goes about here. Just keeping that in mind. I'm gonna erase this later, so don't worry. There. All it is shapes. So little triangles there. Shoulders, shoulders, shoulders. Belly buttons around there. Bottom here. Okay, leg's gonna go out a bit, but whatever. There, there, there. See, because when you do it over and over again, it's like you're shooting at a target. You won't always get it right on, but if you do it enough times, you'll see what the average is. You know what it's supposed to be. See, right now, see, your hand's not, my hand is too close now, so. Again, reference, reference. The longer you spend at this part, the better painting it's going to be. You're building your foundation at this point. I'm going to erase it all again later, so we don't have all these lines sitting out. Shape. Just the shape. Unfortunately, she's not paying me, so.
You always can say that it was she or he in other life.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Also,
Or maybe you can look for the person that looks like the portrait.
not looking at the shapes of their face, you're looking at their eyes, which tends you to make the eyes bigger than they should be. Or whatever you're looking at will become distorted because you're not looking at objective things. But if you squint, you become more objective. And measuring keeps you objective too. So again, measure, measure, measure. Don't be afraid to measure. Don't be afraid to go back and erase. It's not right, because this is the time to do it. You can't do it later. So add a bit more in the chin there. I'm going to start keeping in mind that I'm not looking for details here. I'm looking for color balance, overall color harmony. So I want some cool areas and warm areas. So we got warm in the column there, warm in her face, her hair, cool in the jeans and the shirt, and then the rest is warm, bit of cool in the plants there. So I'll have some cool going across here and then warm around. And that'll be the base to start with. So let's see. Here we go. Right. So we want the eye to go over around here, around her face. That's our main point of focus is around here. So we'll start with that. Now you can be quite loose at this point because this is just the tone. Down here. Now the sneakers are mostly white. They got a bit of a tone in them, that's okay. It's all going to be relative. It's going to be cool down low. in into green. It's the yellow. Again, don't care about. Again, if you squint your eyes, you see what's really going on there. So, don't need to be too precise right now. I'd like to get a bit of orange in her face, though. Just so we starting off. It's not just purely yellow. Now, as we get down into her shirt, we have this green, kind of like what we have the plant there. Blue. Down. Jeans. Again, it doesn't have to be the exact color. It's just about getting general color temperatures going on. This is our foundation here. We're going to go back with another pass later on after it dries. So it's a bit greenish, but it's alright. Here. Now our hand, we should have put a bit more orange in there. Because as it dries, it's going to be not as dark. So it may seem dark for now. We're going to go over this again, so worry if it bleeds into the cool colors. See, that's all right. So we got little bits of white here, so that those will remain as highlights. Take that one out because we don't want to focus up here. Not first of all, so then it's not the end of the polishing. So I'll start off just with a bit of orange to get the depth in the face. So now I really got to squint. This is the moment of truth. I got to make sure I get the eye sockets where they are. Again, it's chiseling out the shapes. And often, you don't see the colors that will work. So that's the tricky thing. You got to make it better than what you actually see. So there's certain tricks you can use for that, like I said with the red. So if I add a bit of red, for now I'm creating the water areas in which I can add these colors. And then the water will transit it across the page. So I want the water to do the work. Magenta. Just dip a little bit in here. That'll give a bit of a gradient, which will look more natural. Also on the lips. I'm doing something similar to what I did in the first pass, which is getting the shadow areas. Not really focusing on detail at the moment. I want to get the areas that are darker, roughed out, and then we'll just go in darker. That can ruin the whole thing. And then people say, "Oh, that's great. Who's that?" And they're like, "Well, then it's not great." Oh, here's another thing you can do with this. Now you got
Yeah, I like that.
4 individual hairs doing the work. So if you pull one of those out, you're gonna have even fewer lines. So you don't want to pull any hairs out of there. It's good for hair. See, look at that. In one stroke, you can get all these individual hairs. Nerve-wracking. It's like tightrope walking. Always focus on the shadows and the depth, and don't get too lost in thinking this is what this should look like the hand. You don't say I'm drawing a hand, you say I'm drawing a shadow under this thing here. And you focus on creating depth through shadow. While I'm here, I'll do a bit in the shoes. We don't want it to be all about the shoes, so we don't want to do too much there. And we're going to carve that out later with some darker paint. So some of these things will be defined by carving out later. Okay, just to get momentum going, I'm going to do a bit of the blouse, because that we can fake some of it. So let's see, let's start with the darker areas. So we got some blue underneath. Because it's so multicolored, we can add color to the paint and let it flow a bit. So we're creating the track for the colors to flow in. And as I add that, I want to make sure that areas that are lighter stay light. You want to make use of the lightness that we have there already. So I'll get a bit more blue flow in here, get some other colors going. It's got some yellow in there. Now I want to use colors that I've used before. If I start using new colors, it's going to look weird. It's not going to add up to the eye. It's going to separate itself from the background. So these have a very limited palette, in fact. Now it's good that there's yellow, because there's yellow in the background as well, so it shall be well harmonized. More blue. Now the shoulder, this is a real key point that will stand out, because it's separating ourselves from the background at this point. We have a deep background here, so this area here has to be well highlighted. So we have the blue feeding down to the blue here. Down here. Okay, what else do we have? Oh, we have some magenta. Let's get some magenta. Make things interesting. We want to work with this while the water's still wet. So we get some nice blooming going on. Oh, this is so much more enjoyable than the landscapes we were doing before. We've got all these technical things. You see, now it's getting less stressful because we're getting moving here. It always gets easier as it goes, as long as it's working out. So I've got a bit more water going on to try and grab some of the colors from these other little pools of paint. Again, here's a key point, because it's going to separate her collar from her head, so we really want to have that stand out. I've got some Regines now. And this is going to separate her leg from the background.
What color do you use with the jeans?
This is a sky blue, but I always try not to use pure color of anything, unless it's a sky. Well, a sky, even you can do a pre-wash of a different color and then wash the blue in. But for most cases, you want to have, especially if you have complementary colors going on. So if I have the blue, I'm going to add a little bit of, say, magenta, just to add a bit of interest to it. And I'm going to wet the brush, and that'll let it bleed together and also create a little bit of texture. Also, little bits of areas of white you can also leave open, because it's just more interesting than if you just create a flat area of color, because then it looks cartoony. It's just, there's no depth to it. So I'm paying attention now to the depth in, so it's much lighter on this side of things. Now I could even go in and get a darker kind of blue, like an ultramarine. Now I haven't used ultramarine before, so I got to be careful, but there is ultramarine in her pants, so I think I'm going to start using ultramarine. So now that I've introduced a new color, I have to use it other places as well. So this is a key point. Remember this, if you're going to add a new color you haven't used before, you can't just use it in one spot and then be done with it. You have to have balance, otherwise it's going to stand out. It's not going to, it's going to look weird. So that's blooming quite nicely now. And it's going to get darker as it goes down the leg here. I don't want to have it too colorful everywhere, so I'm going to add some other stuff to make it a bit more not standing out. Again, if you leave little tiny spots of paint, that's okay. Especially with the orange there. So it's already working out. I'll add a bit in other places again, just to keep harmony. Ultramarine, because it's quite dark on the leg. Again, we don't want this to be the focus, so we can keep it dull, we can keep it not standing out. We can, I'm going to dull that a bit too. It depends whether do we want her to be showing off her leg, is that the point of it? Or we want to look at her face here, that's the, so if we don't want that, we can dull the leg out a bit and not have it the brightest thing on the page. So you think of all these as objects you want to either bring to the front or push back. So this we want to push back. It's like changing gears, okay, well this is a bit too green, well I got to change it back, something warmer, and you just gotta, you kind of know it off by heart after a while. Some people use the big palettes with, 50 different colors, but I just find that just gets confusing. I like mixing the colors because then it's all there on the page. So the limited palette keeps things from getting too busy. Okay, gonna define some darker areas. Now that I've got this dark, that is areas as well. I can't just have it in one spot. But you could have it in one spot if that's where you want it to look. So because this is where I want to look, people to look at, it's less important that it be in other areas. It's only when you want it to be just part of the background that you have to make sure it's blended. Because you just keep in mind that if you use a color that's nowhere else, people are going to look there. So you don't use it far off in the background. If you are, you have to include it in other areas of the paint. But if you start mixing it in with other colors, it's going to look weird. It's going to not mesh with everything else. So I'm going to create the illusion of some of these patterns she has. I'm not going to go in and paint every pattern because that will be crazy. I just want to get the highlights. I'll get a bit more magenta because there's some other stuff going on there. And as I'm painting this, I'm trying to work with the contours. magenta's a bit too loud. I'm going to dull it down. Same with that. Thing with magenta, it's a very loud color, so you want to make sure you use it properly. I'm not going to do too much with the shirt. Okay, I want to get a bit more, fade that out a bit more. Again, I'm playing with the depth.
Because the blouse is very rich in color. Yes.
I'm saying you are the tropical queen.
The tropical.
You cannot laugh.
Cause so colorful, brightful in your blouse. You're gonna say.
Pyrrole red, or anyway, I'm doing it only here because it's on the face, and that's what I want people to look at. So I don't need to put it anywhere else in the painting because this is the point of focus. So just like the red in the landscapes people paint, it's yeah, she looks a bit demonic right now. Her red eyes. I'll put a little bit in the hands because that will be linked to the. You know, she's got her fingernails painted, so we can add that.
If it was Jinjin, it would be okay. She can look demonic after all that she said about Jinjin.
Oh my.
I would never forget that.
Just to make it more interesting. This is a very common technique that you see people use it all the time. And it's so little and it does so much. Just never paint something all one color because it's going to be dull.
It's never a plain color anyway.
Yeah. See, so that's linking together there, so it's more harmonized. Now, I'm going to get some blue, but not too blue. I want it to be very dull because I don't want anyone to look at this part of the painting, and that's this area down here. I just want to keep it loose. Same over here. Keep it loose. Just suggest things. That's not the purpose of this painting. You want everything to be catching your eye. So I'm going to do that same sort of thing with a bit of bright color here. I'm going to grab a bit of that. See, look, I'm creating little rivers. So connect these two. So those are going to harmonize now because the rivers are flowing together. See, look at that. The dam's about to break. All that's going to fall into this river here. Wow, there it goes.
Like a bridge.
This is the most fun part of watercolor. And create a bridge here. Because then as it dries, it's all going to flow together. Grab some of that too. Just suggestions here.
I'm holding there.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to speed it up. Don't worry about it. Bit of it here.
So maybe you should fix the eyes.
Yeah, okay, I'll do the eyes. I'll do your face, so then you can move. I'll finish your face, and then you can even get up if you want.
Even.
Yeah.
No, the hands.
Yeah, the hands too. So just give me 5 minutes.
I'm sorry, it's just the truth. I'm looking at this.
All right.
Am I underway?
No.
Okay. Here's the moment of truth.
Oh my god.
At this point, it doesn't matter what color we use because this is the main event. I'm using blue with orange, really.
It's good.
It's more
depth of
Oops. No.
That is also evil.
Let's start over. Yes,
No.
he has to start over.
Yeah, we have to.
Yes. So stay in this
Sorry.
position 2 more hours.
Yeah.
It's nothing for you.
Playing with the view.
Wow, it's great.
One more hour.
Oh yeah, lots of time. One more hour.
No, for her.
Oh, for her to sit.
She said plenty of time.
It's going good. No pressure. Otherwise, we have to start over.
We won't have to start over, but it will be frustrating.
So he made it.
You cannot change your expression.
Again, these hair strands come at the very, very end. Okay, a bit more eyebrow. Yeah, I'm gonna pull those out.
Well, it looks really amazing.
Oh, this is painstaking here. Because it's so small too. If it was bigger, it would be a bit easier. Okay, I'm gonna grab some red just to give some depth. Put in the nose. It's dirty. Oh my god. Okay, it's not gonna stay like that. Don't worry. Chin.
Don't move.
So now, clean off the brush. Pull it out.
Just bend it in.
Yeah.
Selinka, you are not going to do another one?
I'm sorry?
You are not going to do another one?
Another what?
Another drawing. You have done one. And you are not going to do another one?
Right now? Not right now. My eyes are just...
Oh, okay, I think this has to
But
dry a
I'm
bit first.
happy. I mean, doesn't look like too much, but I'm happy. But Ian's is awesome.
It was nearly there.
I'm very
It's a home stretch.
Yeah. Okay, I have to let it dry a bit, and so it's going to keep bleeding in otherwise. But I,
Oh, really? De Brazil? No, no. La jacaranda.
Es originaria de Brasil.
Yo leí que la había traído un japonés.
No.
Yes.
When does it bloom?
Pero la jacaranda es originaria de Brasil. No,
I guess it would depend on the tree and the plant, right?
es de América.
But they probably have a
O sea,
season.
bien.
I don't know if Mexico is a little bit like Brazil. Like usually it is kind of spring, but because you have sun the whole year, so you have actually plants that like prefer different
Y ya,
seasons.
por ejemplo,
Oh, then you wonders. Wow.
Ours will stand out.
Right? Like yeah, because now that the focus is there, like it's
yep.
sure.
Yeah.
pincel atrás? Tá.
É claro, não. Eu tô tirando uma foto do Ian com a pintura com você. Tá tudo junto, cara. Ficou muito legal.
We're almost there.
Don't despair.
Yeah.
You're almost there.
I'd say maximum 10 more minutes.
Game now.
Okay.
Aha! With tequila.
I'm going to bring. Maybe we can get tomorrow some crickets in the market.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Sure.
we'll
In
do
San Juan
tomorrow.
Mercado, I saw them
Yeah.
everywhere. They were selling
Yeah.
So there you
all
go.
these.
Our daring game will be decided.
Great.
And they are very tasty. The name is sangrita, and the sangrita is prepared with tomato juice, orange juice, also jicama. You know the jicama? Well, jicama, and you can add some Maggi sauce, and it is
Going to
really
try to not
delicious.
move my face, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
But then
Almost
you put
done.
the tequila with
No,
this, or
no,
you
no. It's a chaser.
prepare it for us?
I'm
That's
I'm
the
going
question.
to ask him to prepare one and to bring them for, I don't know, one day, but we will have sangrita, a real sangrita, and good tequila.
Oh my goodness, Tere.
You can ask Yara.
Yara, but that
Who's
will be
Yara?
in Montreal.
She's never gonna live it down.
Oh man.
No.
I don't dare say anything now.
Oh my god. Okay. I think at this point you can keep middling with it and fiddling. Trying to give it more
That's one arm, I get the
You
other
gotta
one.
get even smaller
You get
brush
the,
for
I'll
that.
get the
Like that.
legs.
Yes,
Yeah, and then we
yes.
go
We're
carry
fine,
you.
we're fine.
I think that's probably
No
good
worries.
enough.
We carry you.
Just add some definition through the negative painting here. Just so she has some definition in her hand.
She has 3 eyes here.
I have 3 eyes because I have the
You can
He
never be
just
perfect.
keeps doing it.
He was
What-
talking
what-
to Marcia.
We did see. You said that you're not going to say anything else.
Too late.
Trusted you.
Final.
Marcia has been a
So,
very
finish.
gracious model, and as I finish it off here with these last little strokes,
No, no, he's not going to finish unless you.
we
stop
can now
him.
say that that is the end of day one of our Cayoacan plein air painting
Yeah.
trip.
Yay!
Bravo!